guys, Adam from Ecowise here, and we got a lovely snowy day, and one of my favourite stories actually is set in a snowy place. So I thought rather than reading the story inside by the fire where it's nice and warm, I'd read it outside here in the freezing cold because it's kind of something a bit different, right? So I put my glasses on. Now this story, some of you already probably know it. Chapter 3, in which Pooh and Piglet go hunting and nearly catch a woozle. The piglet lived in a very grand house in the middle of a beech tree, and the beech tree was in the middle of the forest, and the piglet lived in the middle of the house. One fine winter's day, when Piglet was brushing away the snow in front of his house, he happened to look up, and there was Winnie the Pooh. Pooh was walking around and around in a circle, thinking of something else, and when Piglet called to him, he just went on walking. "Hello," said Piglet. "What are you doing?" "Hunting," said Pooh. "Hunting what?" "Tracking something," said Winnie the Pooh, very mysteriously. "Tracking what?" said Piglet, coming closer. "That's just what I asked myself. I asked myself, what? And what do you think you'll answer?" "I shall have to wait until I catch up with it," said Winnie the Pooh. "Now, look there." And he pointed to the ground in front of him. "What do you see there?" "Tracks," said Piglet. "Paw marks." He gave a little squeak of excitement. "Oh, Pooh, do you think it's a woozle?" "It may be," said Pooh. "Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. You never can tell with track marks." With these few words, he went on tracking, and Piglet, after watching for a minute or two, ran after him. Winnie the Pooh had come to a sudden stop and was bending over the tracks in a puzzled sort of way. "What's the matter?" asked Piglet. "It's a very funny thing," said the bear. "But there seem to be 2 animals now. This, whatever it was, has been joined by another, whatever it is, and the 2 of them are now proceeding in company. Would you mind coming with me, Piglet, in case they turn out to be hostile animals?" Piglet scratched his ear in a nice sort of way and said that he had nothing to do until Friday and would be delighted to come in case it really was a woozle. "You mean in case it's really 2 woozles?" said Winnie the Pooh. And Piglet said that anyhow he had nothing to do until Friday, so off they went together. There was a little wood just here, and it seemed as if the 2 woozles, if that's what they were, had been going around and around this little wood. So around and around this little wood went Pooh and Piglet after them. Suddenly, Winnie the Pooh stopped and pointed excitedly in front of him. "Look! What?" said Piglet with a jump. And then, to show that he hadn't been frightened, he jumped up and down once or twice more in an exercising sort of way. "The tracks," said Pooh. "A 3rd animal has joined the other 2. "Pooh!" cried Piglet. "Do you think it's another woozle?" "No," said Pooh, "because it makes different marks. It's either 2 woozles and 1 as it might be whizzle, or 2 as it might be whizzles and 1, if it so it is, woozle. Let us continue to follow them." So they went on, feeling just a little bit anxious now, in case the 3 animals in front of them were of hostile intent. And then, all of a sudden, Winnie the Pooh stopped again and licked the top of his nose in a cooling manner, for he was feeling more hot and anxious than ever in his life before. There were 4 animals in front of them. "Do you see, Piglet? Look at their tracks. 3 as it were woozles and 1 as it were whizzle. Another woozle has joined them." And so it seemed to be. There were the tracks, crossing over each other here and there, getting muddled up with each other there, but quite plainly, every now and then, the tracks of 4 sets of paws. "I think," said Piglet, and then he licked the tip of his nose too and found that it brought very little comfort. "I think that I have just remembered that something I have just remembered something that I forgot to do yesterday and shan't be able to do tomorrow. So I suppose I really ought to go back and do it now. Well, we'll do it together this afternoon and I'll come with you," said Pooh. No, but it isn't the sort of thing that you can do in the afternoon," said Piglet quickly. "It's a very particular morning thing that has to be done in the morning, and if possible between the hours of, what would you say time it was now?" "Well, it's about 12, said Winnie the Pooh, looking at the sun. "Between, as I was saying, the hours of 12 and 12:05. So, really, dear old Pooh, if you excuse me..." "What's that?" Pooh looked up at the sky, and then, as he heard the whistle again, he looked up into the branches of a big oak tree, and there he saw his friend. "It's Christopher Robin," he said. Christopher Robin came slowly down his tree. "Silly old bear," he said. "What were you doing? First you went around the little wood twice by yourself, and then Piglet ran after you, and you both went around together, and then you were just going around for a fourth time." "Wait a minute," said Winnie the Pooh, holding up his paw. He sat down and thought, in the most thoughtful way he could think. Then he fitted the paw into one of the tracks, and he scratched his nose twice, and he stood up. "Yes," said Winnie the Pooh, "I see now. I have been foolish and deluded," he said, "and I am a bear of no brain at all." "No, you're the best bear in all the world," said Christopher Robin soothingly. "Am I?" said Pooh hopefully, and then he brightened up suddenly. "Anyhow," he said, "it's nearly time for lunch." So he went home for it.